Hello students, today we will talk about electric field. We will try to understand concept of electric field and its scalar form. We will also see the difference between electrostatic force and electric field of a charge. So let's start. To understand today's topic, we'll need to recall some of the previous topics, mainly scalar form of Coulomb's law. We know that if we have two charges Q1 and Q2 separated by distance r, the scalar form of electrostatic force between the two can be given as k q1 q2 by r square. What is k? K is single constant for 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. So you can write it as k q1 q2 by r square. And we also know that in this equation we don't have direction given, but if you want direction of force, then we need to set up coordinate system, and then I can say that force on 1, if I want force on charge q1 due to q2, it is denoted by f12 and it is given as this. Similarly, if you want force on second charge due to first one, uh, we can write it as k q1 q2 bracket r2 minus r1 upon mod r2 minus r1 whole cube. Now, I'm sure you must have understood the topic well, and if not, before going further, you should go back to vector form of Coulomb's law, understand it, and then come back to this video. So here, the essential difference is when you are talking about F12, you are talking about force on first charge, and then we have R1 first. R1, that is the position vector of first charge, is appearing first because we want force on first charge. Similarly, when you talk about F21, see here, we have R2 appearing first. So wherever you want to find out force, you should write position vector of that point or that charge first. That is something we'll need to understand, and we'll need it for today's topic. So let us start with today's topic. Consider charge q, and let there be some other charge, say q1, which is also positive, placed nearby. What will happen? We know that as both are positive charges, they will try to go apart, and then let q1 go away. What if we place some negative charge close to our plus q charge? We know that it will be attracted and try to come closer to q, and you take any other positive charge, we know it will go away. So we can say that this charge, this plus q, is having something in its surrounding. It is having its influence in its surrounding, and that influence we cannot see. It is having some influence which we cannot see, but we experience it. When do we experience it? We experience it when we place some charge nearby. See, now as you have q1, you will realize that q1 is going away. Why? Because there is some influence of this plus q charge. When you put some negative charge, we realize that there is some influence of q in its surrounding. True with any other charge. So this influence is there. You have second charge, you don't have second charge, it is not important, but any charge is having its influence in its surrounding, and that is called electric field. So when you are talking about electric field, we should realize that electric field is influence of charge in its surrounding, and right now we are talking about measuring electric field. Now how do I measure? How do I measure how much is the influence of this charge in its surrounding? So let us try to understand what we have. What we know about the charge is that if you have two charges, the two charges have some force of attraction and repulsion, and that force we can calculate very nicely with this formula. Let the force be F, then we know that it is K. I'm considering this as small k, so K q1 by r square. Let us assume that distances are in all the three cases. For second case, if the force is F prime, we know that F prime is kq into minus qa upon r square, and in third case, if I denote it with F double prime, then it is k q q prime by r square. Now the problem here is, if you look at these three forces, what this F depends on? It depends on Q, but it depends on Q1 also. Obviously R and epsilon 0 are also there, but the two being constant, I will not mention it every time. So F depends on both the charges. Similarly F prime, it is also depending on Q and minus Q, and true with F double prime also. So if you talk about force, the answer depends on both charges, so we cannot say that force is the exact answer, or it can give me some idea about influence or electric field of Q. The value of force depends on both the charges. What we want is influence of Q. We don't want to talk about the influence of any other charge or what is the role of other charge. Right now we are not interested. We want to find out how much is the influence of Q in its surrounding, how much is the electric field. And so this formula will not help us directly, but there is one way. If we perform one operation, mathematical operation here, we realize that we get some nice result. Look at this. What if I divide this equation with Q1? So I have F by Q1, and what do I get? KQ by R square. Look at this, KQ by R square. Let us try out with second equation, F prime. So if I divide F prime with minus QA, again KQ by R square. If I divide F double prime with Q prime, again KQ by R square. So what is happening here? If you divide the force by charge, what you get is KQ by R square, and this is the quantity you are looking for. Look at this quantity. What it depends on? Charge and distance, where you are finding out its influence. Charge and distance, where you are finding out electric field. Charge and how far the point is where you want to find out its influence, and all the three results are same, and this is the quantity which is regarded as electric field. So electric field is nothing but F by Q. If we put it in proper way, we say that electric field is force per unit charge, force experienced by unit positive charge. Okay, so if you don't have positive charge, what to do? No need to worry about it. Suppose if you take 5 coulomb, divide your force by 5 coulomb. Suppose I have found out force with my 5 coulomb here. Never mind, I have 5 here. I'll divide it by 5, and that is what we do. So we have KQ by R square. And this quantity, electric field, is depending on this charge, which is called source charge. We are talking about electric field of capital Q, so capital Q is called source charge. What does it depend on? Value of source charge? R. It depends on R. What is R? Distance of the point where you are finding out electric field. And one more thing, one more parameter it does depend on is epsilon 0. What is epsilon 0? Permittivity of vacuum. If you have other medium, you will have 1 by 4 pi epsilon. So electric field depends on three parameters: value of source charge, distance of the point from source charge, and permittivity of medium. But it does not depend on the value of this charge. What is this charge? What is Q1? So I would say that in this case I found out electric field with the help of Q1. So Q1 is test charge. In this case I found out value of electric field with minus Q, so it is test charge. It has tested. This charge has measured. What is the role of QA? It has measured electric field, and so what it is called? It is called test charge. And obviously whoever is measuring electric field should not have its influence on the answer, and so theoretically test charge should not appear, and it is not appearing. Okay, and test charge should not influence your answer, and look at this three. Test charge is not influencing our answer. Okay, so test charge is a charge which is used to measure electric field. Source charge is the charge which is producing electric field, or whose electric field we are measuring or talking about. But as it is force by charge, there should be some direction of electric field. So let us try to understand how to find out direction of electric field. So as we know that when we have two charges q and q separated by distance r, forces k, q1, q2 by r square, and now we have electric field. Once again, how do we define it? F by q, but still direction is not mentioned. We'll have separate session for that, but to give you hint for now, if you have electric field as F by q, q is obviously scalar quantity, so what should be the direction of electric field? It should be in the direction of force. There will be one problem. Problem is that you have single charge, and then how do we know direction of force? So we'll discuss it in separate session. But this is what we have as electric field for now. It is force experienced by unit positive charge. So let us conclude. Electric field can be defined as electrostatic force experienced by unit positive charge. What if you don't have unit positive charge? I have 2 coulomb charge, I don't have 1 coulomb charge. Fine, you measure force with 2 coulomb charge and divide your answer by 2 coulomb charge. What if I have minus 2 coulomb charge? Can I measure electric field with minus 2 coulomb charge? Yes, I can. I just have to find out force with minus 2 coulomb charge and divide my answer with minus 2 coulomb. Okay, so theoretically any value of test charge is allowed. And at r distance, if you are finding out electric field of say charge q, I have charge q as source charge. I am talking about electric field of q, so it is source charge. Where I want to find out electric field? At r distance. Whenever we talk about electric field, it should always be like electric field of so and so charge at so and so point. So you will always have electric field of some charge at some point. When you talk about electrostatic force, it is force on one charge due to another, force on q1 due to q2. Electric field is electric field of charge q at distance r, which can be given as this, or kq by r square. And what should be the unit of electric field? It should be Newton per Coulomb, or other unit is volt per meter. One more thing I would like to point out here, as electric field is having r square in its denominator, if you plot graph of E versus r, if you plot graph of electric field as a function of r, its nature should be like this. As you go away, it will decrease as 1 by r square. And which are the parameters? Parameters, once again I would like to highlight that source charge q, distance r, and medium will decide value of electric field. So with that we conclude for now. We'll discuss vector form of electric field in next session. Thank you.